We are fine. Shu Kai clarifies everything about Tan Songyun. In a moment that silenced weeks of speculation, Shu Kai stepped in front of the cameras with a calm yet weary face and finally said the words fans had been dying to hear, "We are fine." But it wasn't just a press statement, it was a storm of emotion, long-buried secrets, and unspoken pain pouring out in one raw, unforgettable confession that's already shaking the entire industry. The moment that shook the room. It happened at a press junket for Shu Kai's upcoming drama, but when a reporter dared to ask about Tan Songyun, everything changed. The room went quiet. Shu Kai hesitated, staring down for several seconds. Then, slowly lifting his head, he said it. "We are fine. But, not in the way the world thinks." A chill went through the room. This was not just a status update. This was the beginning of something deeper. Something fans weren't ready for. "She doesn't remember me the way I remember her." What followed was one of Shu Kai's most vulnerable public moments to date. He explained how hard it's been watching the woman he once knew so intimately wake up and look at him like a stranger. "Do you know what it feels like to be standing in front of someone you love, and they look right through you? She didn't remember the way I held her hand that night in the ICU. She didn't remember whispering to me to not let go." His voice trembled. His fingers clenched the edge of the table. He wasn't angry. He wasn't desperate. He was heartbroken, but trying to stay strong. Behind closed doors, the private struggles. While media painted a picture of Shu Kai distancing himself, the truth couldn't be more opposite. Sources close to the actor now reveal that Shu Kai was silently visiting her hospital room for weeks, often entering late at night and sitting by her side until sunrise. One insider shared. He would bring books she loved. Music they used to listen to. Sometimes he'd just sit in the corner, listening to her breathe. He never wanted the world to know he was still there, because he was terrified she didn't want him anymore. The viral incident that sparked doubts. Just days before this statement, rumors exploded when a video surfaced showing Tan Songyun crying in her hospital bed, whispering to a nurse. "Who is he to me? Why does he always look so hurt when I can't answer him?" Fans went into a frenzy. Was Shu Kai forcing his presence on her? Was Tan Songyun rejecting him? But now we know, she wasn't rejecting him. She was in pain. And confused. And overwhelmed. Shu Kai explained. "She's trying. You all have no idea how hard she's trying. Every time she sees my face, I see the panic behind her eyes, like she's trying to force a memory that won't come. That kills me more than anything. If she needs to fall in love with me all over again, I'll wait." At one point, a reporter asked if he was holding on to a fantasy. Shu Kai's answer: "If she doesn't remember the love we had, I'll show her a new one. If she never calls me by the same name again, I'll answer to any version of it. If she needs to fall in love with me all over again, I'll wait." The room erupted into stunned silence. One female reporter was seen wiping her tears. This wasn't PR damage control. This was a man fighting for a connection beyond memory. Tan Songyun's silent response. As of now, Tan Songyun hasn't issued a statement. But just hours after Shu Kai's interview went live, fans noticed something on her private hospital room window, a note taped from the inside. It read, simply, "Why does my heart race when he's near?" Whether she wrote it for herself or for him to find, no one knows. But it's clear, something inside her still responds to him. Even if her mind doesn't remember, her heart still does. Fans in tears, he's still fighting for her. Social media exploded within minutes. Shu Kai deserves the world. He's still fighting for her when most people would have walked away. This is deeper than romance. This is soul connection. I've never cried so hard over a real-life love story before. Some fans even began trending a new hashtag, #RememberShukai, posting past clips of the couple laughing, hugging, and holding hands during behind-the-scenes moments. Will she remember him? Doctors remain cautiously optimistic. They believe memory may return in fragments, but not always chronologically. One neurology consultant said, "The brain is funny. Sometimes, music triggers it. Sometimes it's a scent. Sometimes it's a person's touch." In Tan's case, her emotional core hasn't disconnected. That's why her heart still responds to Shu Kai even if her mind doesn't. And Shu Kai, he's not giving up. This isn't a chapter we're closing. It's a story we're still writing. Coming next, a letter never meant to be read. Before ending the interview, Shu Kai handed a sealed envelope to the producer, asking them to give it to Tan Songyun if she ever asks about him again. What's inside? Nobody knows. But fans are already buzzing about it online. Could it be the letter he once read to her when she was unconscious? Or worse, a goodbye in case she never remembers? Whatever happens next, one thing is clear, this isn't the end. Not for Shu Kai. Not for Tan Songyun. Not for the love that refuses to die, even in silence. The love she can't remember, but still feels. It was nearly midnight when Tan Songyun sat alone by the window of her private hospital room, fingers lightly grazing the fogged glass. Outside, the soft hum of night surrounded her. But inside her chest, a restless storm. Nurses said she had been calmer since Shu Kai's press interview. What they didn't say, but clearly noticed, was that she kept looking at the door. Like she was expecting someone. Like her body remembered a rhythm her mind couldn't catch up to. She clutched a tiny worn-out note she had scribbled during the day. Why does my heart race when he's near? Over and over, she traced the words with her finger, trying to decode the emotions swelling inside her whenever Shu Kai stood near her bed. She couldn't explain it. But the ache was real. The night he couldn't leave. What the public didn't know, and what Shu Kai never mentioned in that explosive interview, was what happened 2 nights before it. Shu Kai had shown up at the hospital again. No cameras. No manager. Just him, dressed in a plain hoodie and mask, holding a little red music box in his hands. He didn't ask for permission this time. He just walked into her room and paused when he saw her sleeping. But she wasn't. She opened her eyes slowly and whispered, "It's you again." Shu Kai froze. It wasn't recognition. It wasn't warmth. It was confusion wrapped in curiosity. "I'm sorry," she added gently, I don't remember your name. But I know you've been here. I can feel it." That sentence broke him. He moved slowly, sitting in the chair beside her. Then, without asking, he placed the music box on the table and wound it once. A soft melody filled the room. Her eyes fluttered. "That song. You used to dance to it in the living room after every award show," he said, voice trembling. "Even when you lost." She didn't speak. But her fingers twitched. Her lips parted. Her breath quickened. A flicker. A flash. But nothing came. "Please don't force me to remember. I want to remember you," Tan Songyun whispered after a long pause. "But every time I try, it's like chasing smoke. It hurts. And it makes me feel like I'm failing you." Shu Kai looked at her, eyes swimming in unshed tears. "You're not failing me," he said. "You're surviving." Then, she dropped the bomb. "Please, don't force me to remember. Just be here." It was the one thing he hadn't expected. She didn't want answers. She wanted peace. So he didn't tell her about the nights he read to her when she was in a coma. He didn't mention the voice memos he recorded and played by her bedside every day. Or the time she clutched his shirt and whispered his name in her sleep, only to forget by morning. He just nodded. And stayed. The world thinks they know, but they don't. After Shu Kai's press conference aired, tabloids went into chaos. Some praised him. Some doubted him. Others accused him of trying to salvage a dying love story. But what no one saw were the small things. The way he brought her favorite lavender lotion to help her sleep. The scarf he left folded at the end of her bed, the one she once said smelled like safety. Or the way she slowly started humming the music box tune under her breath without even realizing it. These weren't headlines. These were truths. And they were growing quietly. A doctor's revelation. She's responding to him emotionally. The head neurologist, Dr. Han, gave a confidential update to Shu Kai just 2 days after the press conference. "Her emotional memory is still intact," he explained. "That's why she feels drawn to you. That's why she cries when she hears your voice but can't explain why." Shu Kai clenched his jaw. "So there's hope." Dr. Han nodded. "There's always hope. But emotional memory comes first." Facts come later. Shukai left that night with a quiet determination. He wouldn't give her facts anymore. He'd give her feelings. Moments. Triggers. If her heart remembered, he'd follow it. Can you stay for a little longer? The next evening, Tan Songyun did something she hadn't done since waking up. She asked him to stay. He had just stood up to leave when her voice cracked through the silence. Barely a whisper. Can you stay? Just a little longer. He didn't answer with words. He sat back down, leaned slightly forward, and pulled out a sketchbook, the one she used to doodle in during set breaks. The one she had forgotten existed. He handed her a pen. She looked down, then back at him. Something flickered in her eyes. Slowly, carefully, she drew a tiny heart in the corner of the page. No words. Just that. But Shukai's breath hitched. Because once, a lifetime ago, she used to sign her name like that. The world still doesn't know what they are. Reporters are still begging for updates. Fans keep speculating. But Shukai no longer feels the need to clarify. Because this isn't a relationship for headlines anymore. This is a quiet rebuilding. One drawn heart at a time. One late-night hum of a music box. One memoryless girl slowly falling for a boy she doesn't recognize but can't let go of. And as long as she keeps whispering stay, he will.